This is a strong yarn, your mob. So just going with this warrior energy that I've got going that has been activated by the yarns from the last few days. If you, the one watching this, are the one showing up, if you're the one putting yourself out there, you're the one taking the risk, you're the one who can hear your heart and you can hear your old people, and you're showing up to follow that calling, you're the one in the arena. You're the one with the dirt on your face, the scarred up hands, because you've shown up and you're doing the work, you're taking the risk, you've taken the falls, you've taken the hits. Then do not sit there and take anything from people who are not in the arena with you. Do not allow people who are not taking the same amount of risks as you. Do not allow people who are not showing up in the same way that you are at the same level to have a say or even anything in your mind or your field on how you show up and what you're doing. If they're not in the arena with you and putting in the same amount of effort and work and risk, let them sit in the bleachers, because there's a reason that people at football games and sit on their couches and want to run their mouths and do this here when they're watching football games and stuff and telling the athletes that are on the field how to run the ball and how to play the game. It's easy to be a commentator and have a say when you're not in the arena doing the work. And I'm standing by that, because I am sick and tired of people sitting in the cars and sitting in the bleachers, running their mouths and having a say when they are not on the front line doing the work and showing up. Now, I am all for being called out and being pulled up when I've done something wrong, or when I've made a mistake culturally, when I've made a mistake in business, or I've said or done something that has hurt or harmed someone else, or I've done something against my integrity or against something. When I am being pulled up, it is with the intention to hold me accountable to do better, to be held responsible for the choices I've made, but the person pulling me up is there to hold me accountable and then help me grow so I don't make the same mistake again, so that I can get better at who I'm being and what I'm doing for those that I serve and what I'm here to do in the world. I am not here to play small. I am not here to ask permission to do what I'm being called to do. I have my calling. I have my dreaming from my old people, my ancestors. I got given my calling at 15. The first time I had that calling was at 4 years old when I first stood up for myself. I had that calling again when I was 6 years old and I was sexually abused by a family member. And I said to members of my family, he touched me and they told me to sit down and be quiet. Well, I didn't. I got up and I picked the phone up and I rang my father, and he believed me and he came and picked me up. That was the first time that I used my voice in that way, and I will not be silenced. I will not be silenced, because I have the gift and the responsibility of courage and to take a stand and speak up, particularly if I'm speaking up about an experience or something that I've gone through and someone else sees themselves in my experience and they go, if she can, I can, then that is enough for me. I've heard too much this week of people sitting there behind closed doors or want to run their mouth and have a gossip. Now, I'm not saying I'm completely free of not participating and partaking in lateral violence, gossiping and yarning about others, and focusing on my hurt feelings and my hurt ego rather than the truth telling that needs to be done. I fully own that I have participated in those behaviors. I am working on being better and owning my shit. And if I've got something to say, go and say it straight to the person's face. Because I am here to do the work and show up and be the change I want to see in the world. Am I perfect? No. Have I hurt people that I love? Yes. Have I sacrificed too much in the wrong spaces doing the wrong thing? Yes. Was I doing the best I could with what I had, and were my intentions in line with what I thought was the right thing to do at the time? Yes. So I am here to speak to you and say that if you are in the arena and you are following your calling and your power and potential in service of that bigger vision, that bigger dreaming, that bigger calling that you have for the life that you're meant to lead and the legacy and the impact you're meant to have, then find the people who are in the same arenas as you or who are further ahead in the journey. Do not allow the dogs that are barking at the train going by to stop you from showing up. It still hurts. We're community people. We're cultured people. We're tribal people. We want to belong. But when that belonging comes at the cost of your own self, your own being, or your being, who you're asked to be to belong in that space requires you to abandon yourself, it is not worth the cost. I can tell you right now from experience, when I have abandoned myself in order to fit in, it eats at my soul. It eats at my spirit because I know that I'm not being myself in those spaces. I am not loved or respected for who I am. In order to belong in that space, I'm being asked and required to leave parts of myself at the door or to be a completely different version of myself. Now, is that easy? Is it easy to walk away from spaces, places, or relationships or dreams or things that you thought were going to be yours? No. Is there a space for grieving? Yes, 100%. Does it hurt? Yes. Standing in your power, being your truth and following your heart is not easy. Being yourself in the world is not easy. That's why I call it the warrior heart, because it takes a warrior spirit to speak your truth, to be yourself and to stand in your power and to go, I'm going to follow my heart. I'm going to show up through who I'm being and allow my truth to guide my doing. Because I know that when I come from love and when I come from surrender and connection to the higher calling that is on my life, and I am in surrender and trust to that higher calling. And the thing is, nothing I'm here to do can happen without my being that person first, because everything that I do comes from who I'm being. So if I'm not being the best version of myself, if I'm not being the healed version of myself, then everything that I do becomes tainted. And I'm out here I'm done with trying. I'm out here working on myself and taking responsibility for the shit that I've caused and the people that I've hurt. But what I'm done with is the bullshit of these people who want to sit behind their screens, sit behind their closed doors, yarning about other people when they're not out on the front line taking the same amount of risk. They got plenty to say, but they don't want to come and say it to your face, or they don't want to take the same amount of risk that you are. Now, I understand that people are hurt and people have got trauma and shit, but I am not about to be collateral damage to your pain and to your trauma. I'm choosing to focus my energy, my time and my effort on healing myself and becoming myself and stepping fully into my power and my potential and my warrior heart in this season. Always was, always will be. Like, there is a reason I'm drinking from this mug, to be reminded of my power and my potential as a matriarch, as a creator, as the warrior heart, as the Barkindji warrior. And I'm here to be the change in the world that I want to see through the things that I'm doing, by who I'm being first. And I'm here to own up to the spaces and the times that I didn't do that, to learn from the mistakes and to grow. I can only be the version of myself that I am and who I've got the courage to become. And if I choose to focus on all those who are sitting behind closed doors, yarning, judging, pulling down, then that's taking away energy and focus from the power and the potential of what I'm here to do and those I'm here to serve. So if this has resonated with you in some way, give yourself permission to put yourself in spaces and places where you can be yourself, where you can speak your truth and allow it to hurt when others want to throw their stones at you, they want to bark at you, but do not allow them decision-making power in your mind, your spirit, or your heart, or where you're going, particularly if they do not have a vested interest and skin in the game with what you are here to do and who you are here to become. Because you were chosen. You, that dream, that calling was given to you because only you can do it in that way, through who you are and through your story and experience. So find your warrior heart, stand in your power, be your truth and follow your heart, because the world needs more of us that are doing that. Big love, find your energy, find your power and go for everything that you're here to do.